I'd be happy to take any questions if there are any. And before we do that, I want to just thank again President Sanchez and his team for hosting this today and for being so cooperative in helping us solve this problem.
I think the young man told us 130 plus young people involved in the program. How much are we talking about here? What is the cost, and how does that vary from years past?
It's a combination of federal and state funds. There's approximately $685,000 that the state directly supports through a grant. That grant, there was some, I would say, ambiguity around whether that grant had to go out to bid or not. We're going to be able to relieve that as part of the budget process, so that money will go directly into the Sherlock Center. Also, the commissioner has done a master contract process, and lo and behold, the Sherlock Center was the winner anyway. So either way, we were going to solve the problem. There were many different ways to get it done.
1 year or
2 years.
And what happens after those 2 years? Are we going to be in the same position that we were in?
Well, we're going to, the Senate President, myself, have committed to create an 8-member task force to review this and look at it and see if there's a better way to fund it or to adjust it or to work collaboratively with the cities and towns. It's very complex, it's a very unique thing. I have to give a shout out to former Representative Eileen Norton. Many years ago, took this issue on, and it was really the impetus behind the Sherlock Center and the way it was funded. It's a combination of state funds, federal funds, and they also work with the communities. Each community participates, they pay their fair share of it as well. So it's a very unique situation. It's worked. We're going to see if we can make it work better or improve it and look at ways to fund it going forward. The most important thing people should understand is that we, as legislators, I will speak for the Senate this one time, just as committed as the House is to make sure, yeah, don't get mad at me, Mr. President, but just as committed to make sure that these teachers who do such an invaluable, unique, specialized skill and form a very connected bond with their students are going to be able to continue. How we're going to do that over the next 2 years, I don't have that answer. That's why we're going to have a task force. We're going to study it. And that task force is not going to operate in a vacuum. They're going to listen to Rhode Island College, listen to the Department of Education, listen to the teachers, listen to the parents, listen to the advocates for the union, Mr. Frank Flynn, etc. But most importantly, listen to the students and come up with a solution that works for everybody. And it can be done. It's not easy. I don't have no illusions it's going to be easy, but it can be done, and we're going to get it done.
Commissioner, you mentioned the MPA and the other people that were bidding on it. You said that this was like a legality that you needed to overcome. What happened to that? Is Sherlock just being put on that list, or the other bidders get to just come up to the next council?
Well, that process is not complete, so I can't talk too much on it. That's a question for DOA. However, Sherlock qualifies and is on the MPA. No, we didn't just put Sherlock on there. It was a process. They won, and they are on the MPA.
And so districts will be able to choose Sherlock for their services in addition to the other bidders?
Yes. Yes.
Commissioner, one other question as well. So while this is a great outcome, many students here, parents, teachers will say we didn't have to get to this point, that they shouldn't have had to have come to reporters, the media, lawmakers to ring the bell here, that things could have been done differently. What's your response to that?
Well, I think that knowing the mechanics of what happens in state education, in state bureaucracy, it is part of the process that needed to happen with the MPA. I think that what happened here is what needs to happen, because we have to ensure, we heard the question, what happens 2 years from now? What happens 3 years from now? We're always going to be in this situation unless there's a long-term solution. So at the end of the day, this is what needed to happen because it costs more than $600,000. That's the reality of the situation, and we want to be able to have those services for our students. Please understand that that has never been in question. I am a parent of a child who's differently abled, and I think Jackson, when he spoke today, these people become part of your family. Nobody's trying to change that, but there has to be a long-term solution as we move forward.
Speaker, this is a question for you. You mentioned that there was ambiguity over whether or not the contract needed to be put out to bid. Can you explain a little bit about why there was confusion over that and whether it's possible at all that it could be put out to bid 2 years?
Because it's federal funds, there were federal requirements. even when we're talking about the rescue money and the CARES money, what people don't realize is when the federal government gives the state of Rhode Island money, it's not like a blank check and we can spend it wherever we want. There are all kinds of guidelines and requirements that have to happen, and that's what happened as well. It's the same thing with the CARES money, the rescue money that's coming. There are all kinds of requirements on that. So we're going to look to get creative on finding a way to make sure that that federal money remains in this program. And that was, you know, to the commissioner's credit, that was some of the challenges that she had to face. So working with the House Fiscal Advisor, working with my counterparts in the Senate, we were able to craft a short-term solution. But the bigger picture, you asked about funding. The funding is over $4 million for this program, and it comes from Rhode Island College, it comes from the Department of Education, it comes from the cities and towns. Some cities and towns choose on their own volition not to participate. They hire their own in-house staff, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't want to cast aspersions on that. This is not one size fits all. So we need to look at how East Providence does it, how Providence does it, how Warwick does it, how the state does it, how the federal government does it, and create a solution. Because it is very important that we continue to deliver high-quality service to visually impaired students. It's a priority of mine, it's a priority of the House, and I'm a priority for everybody standing here today. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Thank you all.